Hey everyone, welcome back to the Movie Couple channel. I'm Wendy and here is my non-spoiler review for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. After failing to defeat Aquaman for the first time, Black Manta wields the power of the mythic Black Triton to unleash an ancient and malevolent force. Hoping to end his reign of terror, Aquaman forges an unlikely alliance with his brother Orm, the former king of Atlantis. Setting aside their differences, they join forces to protect their kingdom and save the world from irreversible destruction. This movie could be potentially the last time we see Jason Momoa as Aquaman, but it really depends on what they do with the future. I feel like, before we get into what I thought of the movie, I feel like because the way, the roadmaps that they're laying out for the future of DCU, I don't know if he's completely out as Aquaman. Because there's also Elseworld where they can place him. But with that said, we'll see what the future brings for Aquaman. In this movie, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, Aquaman is back and he's wearing multiple hats. He is King of Atlantis. He is a new dad. So it's fair to say he's being kept pretty busy. I feel like right off the bat, I felt like they were going to try to put a lot of different storylines in this movie. Yes, we have sort of the main story where Black Manta is back with a vengeance. He's seeking revenge and he will do whatever it takes to take down Aquaman. So yes, that essentially is the main storyline that this movie is going to focus on. However, we also have to take into consideration that Arthur is a new dad. He is the king of Atlantis. So he's being pulled sort of in all different directions. He's exhausted because he is a new dad. So he's spending a lot of time on land, but he still has to perform his duties as the king and be, in Atlantis and talking to the council, taking care of business. And he is sort of spread very thin. And you kind of see that very early on in the movie. And right off the bat, they did like an exposition dump where it's kind of like, this is what happened, and this is where we're at now. And it's sort of cute because they do it in a way where he's telling his son a bedtime story with like action figures. So yeah, you really get to see Arthur as a dad. During all of this, Black Manta is plotting his revenge. And as we saw in the trailer, he comes across the mysterious Black Triton and it gives him incredible power. It also holds a curse and a lot of dark magic. So with David being fueled with revenge, the dark magic takes a hold of him and the curse takes a hold of him. As if he wasn't already blinded by revenge, he is even more so, but a lot more reckless and a lot more volatile. Aquaman soon realizes that he will need help and he is going to go to the most unlikely person, basically the last person he would ask for help, but he is kind of backed into a wall at this point and he goes to his brother Orm for help. Which for me, I think when the two finally joined forces, I feel like that's where the movie really got going. The dynamic between Orm and Aquaman, the banter back and forth, the disdain that they have for each other, and it just plays into both of their personality because as we saw, the way Jason Momoa portrays Aquaman, he's not serious, he's kind of like, how do I say it? I feel like it's just like Jason essentially in an Aquaman costume, right? It's kind of, hair flinging, easygoing, not so serious, but still knows when to get serious. So yeah, the two of them, whenever they're on screen together, it's so fun to watch. And to me, that's what made this movie fun. As far as the vibe and the style of the movie, it very much falls in line with the first one. The dialogue at times can be cheesy, but if you were fine with it the first time, I don't think you're gonna have a problem at all with this one. As far as pacing goes, I feel like because they were trying to cram so much in within the 2 hour and 4 minutes runtime, it got a little convoluted, yet at the same time, there were a couple scenes that I felt were a bit unnecessary, and if they had decided to edit those scenes out, either we could have had a shorter runtime that doesn't disrupt the flow of the movie, or they could have used the scene, the time that scene took up and put something else in there to help further the story along. I really do feel like this movie was quite exposition heavy. Like, it started with exposition, which is nothing new for movies, but I feel like every 15-20 minutes or so we were getting bits of exposition in a flashback or whatever it may be, and I also felt that disrupted the flow of the movie, in which I feel like it made those 2 hours feel a lot longer. As far as action was good. I think it really amped up when, you know, Aquaman and Orm were on the screen at the same time. Obviously this goes without saying, it's a comic book movie. We know they're going to do a major face-off with Black Manta, and his fighting style is so cool. It's very quick, and now he's got the Black Triton, so he really knows how to utilize that and the suit that he's wearing. So watching the fight between Black Manta, Aquaman, and Orm was a lot of fun for me. The dialogue for this movie, it didn't really work for me. Kind of like the pacing, it didn't really flow. We have, you know, in the same dialogue, one character is trying to kind of be like big, playful, you know, kind of on the cheesier side of things, and the other one being serious, but they just didn't play well together. I felt like some of these characters, they weren't on the same page as to what movie they were in. So while I had fun with the first Aquaman, I didn't have as much fun as I thought I would with Aquaman 2. And so my rating for this movie is skip it. Unfortunately, I feel like this movie suffered from trying to do too much, and even with the 2-hour runtime, I feel that certain things were still feeling a little bit incomplete, especially when we got to, you know, the stuff with Black Manta. They kind of, you know, lead it up to this great big battle, and it's kind of like how I felt how they used Black Manta also in the first film. I felt like he was underutilized. I feel like we're gonna have, you know, like the nemesis for Aquaman, and it just wasn't fulfilling. I felt like we ramped it up and the payoff was not good. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts on Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Let me know your thoughts once you've seen the movie in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next review.